Hi everybody, Geraldine Rose here with another Valentine adjacent care card to send out. This one's got unexpected colors. This card was for the Rediscovery Hop over on Instagram. It's where you shop your stash so you don't have to worry about going more broke, buying more supplies that you'll just organize and put on the shelves. I don't think I'd used either of these, the Swirling Hearts from Creative Expressions and the Alt New Picture Vase set. So I've got my stencil out first, and I had put down a pink blend across the bottom and with the horizon, and then the green with the stencil with a very light green color. Now, because it doesn't go all the way across the card, it's one of those narrow ones, I cropped it down on the one side. And I grabbed out some embossing paste. I've got the Nouveau Pearl Drops up at the top and the Strawberry Coulis Jewel Drops at the bottom, and I'm mixing it in with the paste. And the pink one at the bottom, I also mixed in that dusty pink ink that was up at the top, and it'll give it just a slight little bit of shading. And I didn't mix it too thoroughly. I wanted it to kind of have a little bit of streaking in it. So I'm smearing it again on that stencil, mostly towards the one side, towards the right-hand side, because you can see that I've got a gradient kind of going across the card where it's heaviest concentration on the right-hand side, and then it fades out going towards the left. I'm bringing in some of the embossing glazes. So I grabbed out like the pink tones, and I've got one of the green ones, and I am just sprinkling them across the top here. I will grab this panel up while the embossing paste is still wet, and I am going to tippity tap from underneath so that all that powder bounces around and sticks to the wet paste. I've got a little horizon line going in there, or a table line, with just some of the metallic chunky embossing powder. And I'm going to heat set it, even though that paste is still wet. Now, when you do it when it's still wet, watch, it will bubble. I like that effect myself. But hey, if you want to set it aside and let it dry and not heat set the embossing glaze, it will have more of a velvety style texture. I had cut out the picture vase, and I'm doing some ink smooshing with two colors. One's that rouge pink, and the other's a bit more of a terracotta. And there's the mum hand thing, where we all do the seatbelt thing with our arm, coming to a stop. Well, I was protecting the paper over on that one side. I'm smooshing it and heat setting it in between. And you can see that I've got the frame already cut out. I jumped some of the scenes around in this video so that they would go in their corresponding chapter. So don't worry too much about that, where you're like, well, wait, where did that come from? It'll all come clear later. And once I ink smooshed it and had it dry, I did ink blend around the outside of it to add a little bit of shading along the neck and the handle of that picture. It also has the embossing folder for this. So I'm setting it at an angle to run it through. I'm going to check the impression. Looks good. We'll take it out, but no, we're not done with it yet. We'll go back in with a little bit more ink now that we've got it embossed, and we're going to catch some of those ridges that the embossing folder put in. And that stencil for the picture vases has got like a couple of different scenarios, so you can use the reverse side. So I jumped it over to the other side, and I put my Versamark down on the handle and just where that little flower was. Remember when you had teacups and saucers and some of the old pictures, and they used to have the gold on them? Well, that's the impression that I was going for with this. So I grabbed the chunky embossing powder out again, and I stuck it down to the Versamark. And once that was heat set, I came back in with one of my metallic pink pens, and I'm just catching the tips of that flower that's on the vase to bring in that pink tone again. All right, this was the Spellbinders, the Water Lilies frame set. I used one of the rectangle frames on the inside of it to cut it out so that I could frame this as if it was like a painting or something, a still life that's on your table. I put a couple of layers behind it, and oh no, that block don't fit. So gotta grab out the big guns for that one. In the meantime, with the panel, of course, we have to put some splatter in. So it's in Splat Box, and I'm checking to see how that solar spray looks on, and I used the pink tone of the solar spray on that. And the shimmer spray, sometimes this comes out really gloppy, and I just wanted small ones. So I dipped my fan brush in, and again, I'm putting it towards that right-hand side where we've got most of the concentration of colors. We are going to set that frame down. I had a lot of glue on it because you are putting it over embossing paste, and I did really set it aside to dry. So while it's drying, let's work on the sentiments on the inside of the card. This was a combo Waffle Flower and Simon Says stamp, and it was something like Sending You Sunshine. So I am doing my ombre because you know that I like to do that with the inks. I'll start out with a lighter tone on one side. The darker tone goes on the other side. And what you do is you just keep blending it out with either your finger or a brush and build your layers up. So I came in with the green on the one side and the pinks and the orange on the bottom side. And they met in the middle. And because of that, it didn't turn to like a brown mud in the middle, but it's echoing that terracotta and the pink that are on the front of the card with the picture. Now, the inside of the card, there was another sentiment that was from that Waffle Flower Simon Says stamp set. I'm going to do the same with this one. So we're starting out with the green, the lighter tone. And it's best to start out, if you've got a really light green or a really light yellow, with those ones first so they don't get lost and taken over by your darker colors. I'm also bringing in one of the close to my heart, You Are My Sunshine. So another one that had sunshine in it. And this is where my love came in on the theme. I've got that down, and we have to put a little heart in there because, again, there's your love, right? And I'm using love in the British sense of the word. Learned this from my British mother, where everybody was called love and hun, right? Rather than I love you type of Valentine card. Custom stamps going down on the back. We're going to jump to the Better Press plate. That was the Alt New Solid Sentiments. And this is going to be for my sub-sentiment for the front of the card. I'm running it through with like a pinky orange ink across it. And the Better Press, it does so wonderful for getting the detail in those. I'm going to set it aside to dry a little bit because that ink will blend out as it dries. I ran it through with my Swallowtail banner. So there's the first portion of it, but because that one's a double side, I had to run it through again with my square-sided one. And you can see I've set the plate so that it's only catching the one little portion that I want to cut. So I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay, that looks good. Put it aside. I had the die cutting machine out, so I also cut out the heart sash set from Poppy Stamps. And those were the hearts that I was going to use for the bouquet and the picture. Okay, got the big shot out to the side again, and we are just edging around that banner with an alcohol marker in that same pinkish tone. We've got some ultra sticky tape and some glue on the back of this panel because with the paste there, sometimes you will get a little bit of warpage on your, like this was a Nina cardstock, I think. But I just wanted to make certain that it was going to set down. And that panel does go top to bottom. I know, unusual for me, right? I was like, I'm going to just run this vertically. I'm not going to crop off the top and the bottom. We got the big block on top. We are checking to see now where we are going to put in all of these little gold threads. And I used those for the stems of the bouquet. And I got some glue just going down along the edge. And I feel like I'm playing that game that we used to play, Operation, where you were the doctor and you had to pull things out without the sides buzzing and touching it. And I love those old reverse tweezers. They're so good for everything. So I got the threads all down. I'm putting the picture over top of them. I'm going to squish it a little bit into place gently. Oh, I had a little bit of glue along the edge of the handle. So again, those old reverse tweezers for the win. I have other ones, but I just keep using that honeybee one. You can tell too because it's all banged up. The tip's all gone and the white's all discolored. The sentiment is going to go down on that right-hand side. I'm going to create what is a triangle within that rectangle. So I've got the picture on the one side for the bottom. I've got the big sentiment on the other side for the right-hand side of the bottom. And I'm going to use those little hearts, the flowers, as the top part of the triangle. I'm very carefully grabbing them out and putting them in place. And I put the bigger ones towards the bottom and the smaller ones towards the top. So it looked like they were receding towards the distance. And I also used an alcohol marker to color a couple of them with a bit more of the orange. Now this, I couldn't figure out where I was going to put this. And it just didn't look right. It looked like it was just putting too much heaviness on the card. So I put it aside. I said, just let it percolate. Just go back and get your shiny bling bling out and get some of that down, because you know that always makes you happy. Shiny bling bling. And so we have shiny bling bling when you open the card up with the hearts on the inside. And then on the front, I've got some of the confetti discs going down on the bottom left-hand side of the triangle that we've got, and that's going to help ground the composition. We're going to bring in some of those Nouveau pearl drops in the same shade that we used in the embossing paste around the composition. And then I figured it out. I'm like, oh, you're only using the love. You're not using love you so much. It was more of Valentine. You're just using the word love. So I chopped it off, and then I'm using my bone folder to round off the edges, which is what you can do with die cuts. And you need to cut a portion. It will give it that impression that it is a die cut. And I'm sliding it around till I find where I want it. And I went, okay, it's going to work. I need a little bit more orange on the right-hand side. So there we are. I finally got her done. It's finished off. It's got some shiny bling bling. It's got a good amount of care sentiment in it. It's going off to a friend in the US. I hope you guys are all getting some crafting done. Be that change we want to see in the world. Thanks to all my subscribers for liking and commenting and sharing. Remember about the giveaway on the case card. We'll catch you guys all next time. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.